All right, what's going on? It's Bobby Skinner talking Giants. The Giants made a trade deadline trade, and I think there's more to come. But as of now, the Giants have traded Leonard Williams for a 2024 second round pick and a 2025 fifth round pick to the Seattle Seahawks. Who reported this? Your boy. I kind of knew. I'm not going to lie. I can't know. But I did predict it. But I didn't officially report it. But this to me is a hell of a trade. This is a steal of a trade. Like if you told people you get a fourth round pick by itself for Leonard Williams, I think a lot of people would take it, right? Probably not part of the future plans. To get a second and a fifth, I mean, that's a freaking steal for Joe Shane. Like, and second round picks to me are so valuable. You see some of the best players in the NFL, they come out of the second round. Just think of last year. The Giants got JMS at the same slot. We'd expect the Seahawks to probably be in like that 57 range. Um, right? And if the Giants were in that spot last year, they don't have to trade up to take Jalen Hyatt, right? You just take JMS and Jalen Hyatt on what would probably be back-to-back picks. This year, it'd be a higher second-round pick and then taking someone with the other one. Um, they also, if you're into this, they can also be used to trade up for a quarterback, which is becoming more and more likely for the Giants as the more games that they lose, right? Um, but this is to me a steal of a trade to get a second and a fifth, right? Like to think about the way that Leonard Williams, who was traded to the Giants on a team that was 2-6 for a third and a fifth on an expiring contract. Well, now 4 years later, 4 years older, you're getting a better deal for him. Like no, and there was even like you know, there was uh, what's the word? Like the fifth round pick could have went away if the Giants didn't re-sign Leonard Williams, right? So there's no stipulations. That's the word. There's no stipulations that goes with it. So again, getting a player in the second round is so valuable, especially for a team in the Giants that just they don't just need to get more good players, but they need to get players at a lot of volume, right? This roster doesn't have depth. The starters aren't great either, especially on offense. Um, so I love this. Now I love watching Leonard Williams play, and I think he was underappreciated due to his contract and the way that he was traded for that originally happened. But he's been a top 10 defensive tackle in the NFL in his lifespan as a Giant. Always been super professional. Like we will miss him in the short term this season. Now the Giants signed Ashawn Robinson and Nacho, so they kind of had a backup plan in case they kind of I'm sure they knew in the offseason that they weren't going to get a deal done with Leonard Williams, right? When there was talks about extending him, we talked about on our show that that number to extend him this past offseason, the average annual value would have been started with 20 when you look at defensive tackle contracts around the NFL. And I don't know if I was comfortable paying Leonard Williams that. And obviously the Giants weren't either. So they end up moving off. Now, I'm sad that the Giants are in a spot where they're trading guys at the deadline. Would much rather be winning. The way you get better as a football team is by winning. Um, but this is making the best out of a bad situation. I actually think Joe Shane's been there's like I've been not like I'm in the kind of like a wait and see with his drafts and stuff. Trades has been where I think he's been the best. Like if you want to look at it, right? You trade down from pick 36 two times in 2022. So you get, for that pick, you get Wandale, Dane Belton, and Micah McFadden. You trade Kadarius Toney for for pick third round pick and a sixth round pick. You get Darren Waller and Trey Hawkins out of that. And then trading up for Deontay Banks. I still think he might have been there, but whatever. And then the Jalen Hyatt trade, love that. And then you can look at the Boogie Basham trade and Isaiah Simmons trade, and they didn't live up to the hype that fans put on it, but they are doing what was asked of them and playing a rotational role for draft picks that probably don't turn into rotational players. And then obviously this Leonard Williams trade, and I could see more to come. So I obviously really like this move. I hate that we're in the situation that I like this move, but an expiring contract for a second and fifth, man, like you don't see stuff like that unless it's like a star player, not like a really good player like Leonard Williams, like a star player to get that type of value for an expiring contract. And again, and not a guy coming off of his rookie year deal either, right? Where it's like, okay, easy extension. A guy who is entering, he's going to be going into year 30 or his 30-year-old season soon. So we'll miss Leo. Giants draft picks over the next 2 years as of now. So you have your first and your second. You add another second, a third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. The seventh is gone from the Isaiah Simmons trade. And then you're all ready for 2025. You already have 8 picks, right? 2 of them being sevens with the Boogie Basham trade, but you get that extra fifth. So Giants, coming out of the last draft, they had only their 7 picks, and they've obviously wheeled and dealed. They got rid of their 7th this year and added a second and fifth. for this year and next year. So good stuff. We're going to have a podcast out tomorrow, waiting on if Adoree Jackson gets traded, but we will have a podcast out talking about this and Daniel Jones and then Adoree Jackson if he gets traded. So appreciate you guys. Like and subscribe, and let's go Big Blue.